What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Viall Files. I'm your host, Nick, joined by my producer, Rochelle. How you doing, Rochelle?
Well, it's been rough. Don't you think?
I guess it's just it is what it is, Yeah. I don't know.
My birthday's tomorrow, and it'll be weird to just like be alone.
Oh, happy birthday.
Thanks.
Yeah, no, it sucks that way. I found the groove. Like at first, we talked about this. Like I thought I was kind of thriving in a way. Then I got a little bit of quarantine fatigue, and now it's just, I don't know.
Now you're back in the groove?
No, but I'm just kind of accepted the fatigue. Like it's fine. It's I was quite honestly, like, I know this is kind of off. I was really really bothered by that national story.
Yeah.
The gentleman who was killed jogging, and just really frustrated by that. That was really, but I'm glad they arrested him, and hopefully there's justice will be served. So I got it. I was not necessarily distracted, but like I was almost, invested. I was invested in that, and that was something that's been on my mind for the past couple of days. So. Yeah, the very sad death of Ahmaud Arbery. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. But I was really upset about that. I did, it's almost like sad to know that it had happened a couple months ago, and it was all over the news, and you're just kind of like, why didn't we know about this before? And, so, but I'm glad, shows the power of the people, which is good, I guess. And hopefully justice will be done there. But yeah, so I kind of obviously was focus on that this week, and in quarantine wise, I'm just trying to, I'm trying to get outside more. I've gone on some walks with some friends, some 6-foot walks, meet up, just like, hey, do you guys want to go on a walk? And like, do you want to go on a walk? And we keep our distance and we wear masks, but at least, like you're talking to someone.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
That's been nice. Just trying to, try to continue to be smart but trying to have, our lives, kind of what your friend Ben said when he came on our podcast and talked about, this virus and what we can do and what we, try to do our part, but humanity must go on. So I don't know.
Your shirt. Did you wear that for Listen to Your Heart?
I did. Yeah. I bought this shirt. It has some musical notes and I thought it would be appropriate. So yeah,
that's cool. We
have a fun recap. Arden Myrin is our guest today. She helped break down The Bachelorette for us last season, and she's an absolute expert. She is such an expert. She has her own Bachelor Recap podcast you should check out. But it's always fun to talk to Arden, and she has a new book coming out you guys should check out. She talks about it at the end of our episode. So yeah, let's just get right to it. Arden Myrin, and Listen to Your Heart. How's it going, Arden?
Oh my God, so good. Just thriving, Nick. I'm thriving.
Yeah.
I'm living my best life. I gave myself a haircut yesterday. I can't stop cutting my hair. Yeah. This is my second haircut in like 2 weeks.
It looks great.
Thank you. I feel like I'm never going to go get it professionally cut again.
Seriously.
Honestly, like same. I've kind of buzzed my head. It's been growing out, but I'll tell you what, I'm definitely going to cut it again before I like grow it out. But I have like the sides figured out, like on a razor,
It's one of my favorite things that I do. The first time I did it, I was very nervous, and then I found that I very much enjoy cutting my own hair. There's like a going feral quality to it. So like, yeah, I have nothing to lose. Like I'm really like living off the grid now.
There's a sense of accomplishment, but it looks great. It's definitely more bold than me, because that's like how long would it take you if you cut your hair the length of mine to grow back out to the length of yours? Like
that's
2
a really
years?
Great question. I would say my hair grows pretty fast, but I would say a good solid 2 years.
Yeah, because 1.5 inch per month is the average.
Okay, I would say a solid 2 years. It would be, I couldn't even get a weave at your length. You know what I mean? Like I couldn't even be like, oh, I made an error. I messed up. You know what? I'm going to get a weave. And it would be so clear that it just wouldn't work. It wouldn't work. I've had some terrible haircuts as a child. I'm not going to lie to you. I was like Barb from Stranger Things.
I used to have, my mom was like, for whatever reason, just like, sure, you can do whatever you want. And so I did. And I like shaved half my head. Then I had a rat tail.
Oh no!
Yes.
Yeah. I had it all. It was like a bowl cut and like a rat tail.
Yeah.
But it was only like maybe 2 inches long. It wasn't like
Age, please. What age was this?
Only 2 inches.
5th or 6th grade. It was like a little makeup brush, like a little kind of little fan brush on the back.
A little fan brush, a little peekaboo. How do you
Yeah.
do? Were you popular in middle school, or were people like?
This was definitely elementary school.
Were people like Rat Tail Nick? He's cool.
I don't. Yeah, I actually, if I remember, I think people thought it was cool that my friends. It definitely wasn't. There were bigger rat tails.
Yeah, the guys who had rat tails in my elementary school were like sporty and like
Yeah.
it was in. It was in.
I loved a guy with a fade. I loved I did like a one side shave. Yeah, I like sort of like the skater boys that were like they're kind of wild cards. They've got nothing to lose.
Yeah, it used to be popular.
Were you remotely a late bloomer? Like were the high school years? No, you were like getting at it early. That's how you become the Bachelor.
I was. Yeah, I was nerdy, and I wasn't nerdy, but I was picked on in middle school.
Sure. Well, middle school is a horrible time.
I was exiled from the popular group in middle school, and then I rebounded in high school.
Wow, that's hard to do. Was it the same group of kids?
No, there was some, but like some.
Wow. So were you prom king?
No, how it was in our high school is you didn't vote for the person you wanted to win. Right. You voted for the person you didn't mind winning.
Wow. That's very polite. Very polite.
So it was always like some random yeah, that would be cool for them to win because no one would be offended. Like it was always, it was kind of like the nerd. Yeah. So people would vote against. People didn't vote for me. People voted against me.
Was Ben Higgins an early bloomer? Like, is it generally? I feel like Colton was a late bloomer.
Yeah. I don't know, but I'd probably put money on the fact that Ben was a homecoming king or prom king.
Yeah, he's got that vibe. He's got that early confidence.
Yeah, and he was the quarterback of his school. Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
You're absolutely right. As you say that, I'm like, yeah, duh.
But again, like where I went to high school, that's not how we voted.
God, I love this. Why didn't I go to your school? Things would have been so much easier.
Yeah, I don't know. It was kind of bizarre. The people just kind of just started like, it'd be kind of cool if they won because no one would expect it. So and everyone would be like, yeah, like I wouldn't be offended. It's just like,
I love this.
Arden, were you popular in high school?
I was like the court jester. You know what I mean? I was like the funny girl. So I was sort of liked by everybody, but I was sort of more in the middle crowd. But like the popular kids liked me because I was entertaining, but it was more in like a pet. I was like a pet or like a, yeah. It was like a court, like a neutered court.
You definitely would have been like the homecoming queen or prom king at my school.
Oh my God. Why did I not go to your school?
Yeah. Like you're like kind of in with everyone, not offensive. Like everyone thinks like she's a cool hang.
Yeah.
I
went out with a couple of guys. Like I made out with some, but I wasn't.
Be like, it'd be kind of cool who'd like Arden. Like that would be so ironic. And then everyone would be like, yeah.
I would love that. I really could have used that. So yeah, I did okay. I think looking back on it, I think I was more well liked than I felt, but
Sure.
But how about you, Miss Rochelle? How did you do?
Well, I grew up, I was like super religious, but I was like hiding it at school. So I was pretty, I would like study at lunch.
Yes. Yes, you did.
And I was really into show choir. But like, I feel like I had a lot of friends and people liked me and thought I was nice, but I was definitely keeping to myself. Like, I don't even think I went to a single party or anything.
Ooh.
I know. Rough.
I did.
She was trying to assimilate to like the real world.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. Everybody does the best they can through those years.
I got great grades.
Good for you. I'm sure you did better than I did. I did fine. It was fine.
Function of beauty. You know what I was thinking? Wouldn't it be great to get shampoo tailored to your exact needs and for your exact hair? I mean, that would just be, it makes so much sense. You're wondering why it hasn't been around for ages.
That's why we love Function of Beauty. So you take a short 4-question quiz, which I did. You can save 20% on your first purchase just by taking the quiz. You go to functionofbeauty.com/VIALL. So that's what I did. And for me, I have very fine hair and I wanted help with split ends, especially because I haven't been able to get a haircut in forever. And then you can also choose what color you want it to be, what fragrance. So I picked rose, which is very fitting. It smells so good. And then they also put your name on it, which I love.
To get started right now, go to functionofbeauty.com/VIALL to take your 4-part hair profile quiz and save 20% off your first order. Don't spend another minute in hair misery. Go to functionofbeauty.com/VIALL to let them know that we sent you. That's functionofbeauty.com/VIALL. Luminous Air. I'll tell you what about makeup brushes. I don't wear a lot of makeup, but there is this thing when I was a kid and video games weren't what they were now. You'd go to the arcade and you thought, oh God, why can't I have like an arcade in my house, right? And then you'd go home and you'd play your system. It just wasn't as good as the big machine. I feel like that's what like Luminous Air is. It's the amazing professional airbrush that you can get now at your home. And it's professional quality. And so instead of brushing and all these things, you have this amazing, I don't wear makeup, but I feel like you would want to have an airbrush.
Yeah, I have it. You can see it right here. It's super portable, small, easy to use. And it's the Silk 4-in-1 airbrush foundation, which means you don't have to put primer on. It's everything all in one.
I mean, that sounds amazing. Luminous Air has a limited time offer for you right now. Go to trysilk.com/VIALL to get 60% off your Luminous Silk 4-in-1 airbrush system. That's trysilk.com/VIALL. Get smoother, fuller, and more natural looking foundation coverage. Visit trysilk.com/VIALL. So here we are. What episode? What are we? Episode 4 or 5?
5. We're almost at the next week's finale.
Oh,
Let's go.
Amuse bouche of a show, the smallest. It's like the perfect length of the quarantine for my attention span.
How are you feeling about Listen to Your Heart?
Thank you so much for asking, Nick. I'm so glad finally somebody's watched the show and has asked me. I'm going to be real with you. At first, my friend said that she was convinced that ABC invented COVID to try to force people to watch Listen to Your Heart because nobody would have watched it. And still, that wasn't enough to get people to fully watch it. The first 2 episodes, I could not have been more bored. But now, since it feels that there's a new set of producers every episode and they change the game each episode, I'm now all in. Now that we're like American Idol Love Edition, or if you guys remember Rockstar INXS, there was a show where they were looking for a lead singer for INXS, and they would do it at these weird mansions, and Dave Navarro was on. This feels like, now that we're in the American Idol portion of it, I'm all in. I'm fast. Like when they started singing, I got more invested, and now I'm enjoying it. How about you?
Why do you think that was? Because honestly, like I've watched it, and to me, it's just kind of like, it's just another Bachelor show. Why do you feel like, why were you particularly bored the first couple episodes? Was it the lack of an anchor? I
felt like they were, Jamie, they were clearly trying to make Jamie the star. And they clearly wanted Jamie and Ryan to, I felt like they were like, this is our pair. And when they went to Capitol Records and they sang that John Mayer song, I mean, they were great. Like once they started singing, I was like, they're like
Ryan was great.
He was great. I feel like she's someone's niece, and they're like, we're gonna make her a star.
Right?
Like she can't get out of her own way. Yes. They want her to win, and she doesn't have the chops. She's outmatched by every person there, and she's a
pretty good singer. She's just clearly not as good as everyone else.
She's a pretty good singer, but then when you see somebody like a Natasha or a Rudy who've clearly put in the hours in like smoky bars, singing with bands, and know how to put on a show, this person's niece who's in like ABC development. Like she's folding in on herself.
She's been singing in her closet over the years without a real audience. Like she's been singing to her like stuffed animals, you know?
She's been singing to her stuffed animals. We had a listener email in and said she went to school with her. She's from New Jersey. She's from not from Nashville. She's from New Jersey.
Do you have Jamie T?
She changed her last name.
A lot of people change their names, though.
I should have been ahead of that game. I really missed that. I guess I became,
Oh my God, Myrin spelled with a Y. What was I thinking? Like, why? I could have picked any Arden. Like, I could have picked anything. But anyway.
But she went to Berkeley, right?
Did she?
Berkeley Music, yeah.
In Boston?
Mm-hmm.
Huh. I did not know that. Yeah.
Yeah,
it is
really
a good
good
school. I mean, I
mean, she's. I mean, from a guy who can't sing at all, I think she's a very good singer. She just, whether it's confidence, whether it's she's just not as talented, or just the combination of everything, like you said, like her compared to Rudy it's not even a comparison.
Watching, I think it would have been fun the first 2 weeks to see if, like, night one, everybody is like, do your best song.
Yes,
and then,
that's what I think.
And then that, because like how talent is sexy. So it might be somebody that you might not normally want to, like, get down with, but then you see them, like, rip it with some song and you're like, oh my God. Like, and you can become attracted, and I feel like that way, that would have been like, let's see why you're here. And that would have been more fun for me than just, I don't know, it felt like theater camp, but without there was a softness to opening night. It didn't have the drama of Paradise, I felt like it was like a little tepid.
Well, it doesn't have the drama of Paradise for a lot of reasons. Like you said, you didn't have the anchors, right? You don't have the returning characters. Like,
right.
If you could get Jed to have come on the show, like that would have been compelling, right? So
I'm sure he was available.
He had a girlfriend. I don't know if they asked, but like every season of Paradise, you have the fans recognize people,
right?
And even the cast recognize people. The cast will be like, oh, I saw, sometimes they might have talked, maybe they even met and there's a storyline there, or maybe they just recognize someone that, like, oh, I had a crush on so and so,
right?
Now I get to meet them. So there's so much anticipation, there's so much to work with. That's why usually episode 1 of Paradise is usually always pretty great, right? Because it's like, it's all this like this pent up emotion and kind of excitement, and then people kind of literally or figuratively blow their wad and like
it's the best show on television.
Everyone's half naked,
There's so much excitement, and then that's why in Listen to Your Heart you had first episode was nerves. These people, what is this show? Who is Chris Harrison? Literally, right?
Yeah.
Who are these people? What is this show about? And that's why I think it took a while for any kind of stakes to be there.
It definitely, you're right, because we didn't know any of the characters coming in. It was a completely new freshman class. Everybody was brand new. And maybe that's why it's gotten more fun as it took a little bit to get some traction. I mean, you had the Julia Sheridan, Brandon. I mean, just watching that was like a slow motion crash. Just watching this person who at first seemed so sweet, and then just like watching her get in her own way. And then all the ladies chasing Brandon, which was shocking to me. And it was definitely, I felt like that started making it cook a little more.
Yeah. I mean, it definitely picked up. What are you gonna do? So here the episode opens up. I love. I mean, I really just get a kick out of the earnest Chris Harrison every time. Where he's like, things are about to change.
I love it.
You're not gonna believe what's gonna happen, and like,
I love it.
It's like almost like he predicted Corona and quarantine.
Yes.
We're gonna leave the house, which probably reads the audience, be like, no way, they're gonna leave the house. We're gonna
Don't leave the house. Don't leave the house. Yeah. Yeah.
Like, we're going to
By
get
the
on a
way,
bus and like, whoa.
the bus was so. I loved the house that they were in. The house was beautiful where they filmed. I thought that was a very exciting house. But yeah, getting on the bus, you do get the feeling that even Chris Harrison doesn't quite know what's happening. Like you get the feeling they sort of roll him out and they have like just keep changing the rules. But I like that everyone got a bus.
They're definitely changing.
Oh
it.
man, Becca and Ben were shook by that.
Oh yeah.
Got their,
Why?
Because they had to cram into like 2 buses with the whole Bachelor tour, and these people get their own buses.
Well, it's a little different when they're like taking one trip for purposes of a show, for appearances, so to speak.
It definitely felt like they spent all their money like on the buses and then on like the John Mayer song and the Taylor Swift song. And then they had some dates that like, you're going to go sit on this pile of rocks and like stare. You know what I mean? They definitely have their like blow your load, like budget moments. And then the rest are like, now your date is like, you get to sit under a tree and spy on people.
It's the same as Paradise though, right? Like the dates, for cast members filming and for the audience watching, who cares about the dates? You know what I'm saying? Like, take me back to the beach. Take me back to the house. Like, what's going on there? I don't like nothing was more boring this episode than watching Jamie and Trevor ice skate. Like,
oh my
yay,
God.
I play hockey. You're pretty good. Oh my God, you're a girl who can skate. I'm blown away. Like.
Do you buy their romance?
No, not for one moment.
I started to.
You did. She's young enough. I buy her.
I totally believe that Jamie. Oh God, I'm actually a little disappointed in the cast. I don't know, in a sense that what I did like about this show is that you seem to have like real new people who, a lot of which might not be that familiar with the show, right?
Yes.
So, people come in having watched the show with an expectation of, I'm here for the right reasons and I'm falling in love. And like, they almost like train themselves, right?
Right.
So you have like fresh meat, so to speak, of people who really haven't like seen the show. And so I was waiting for like someone to be like, I'm falling in love with you. And then someone respond, yeah, I don't know what that means.
Yeah.
Because like it literally doesn't mean anything. And it's like,
yeah,
I'm falling in love with you. I'm falling in love with you. Like, but Trevor's definitely like, and Trevor knows the game. Trevor's kind of like, yeah, sure, I'm falling in love with you. It doesn't literally mean anything, so fine, whatever.
The sheer fact that like Trevor from American Idol top 50, like there's something, like Trevor definitely knows how to play the game. I mean, watching them last night singing too, I couldn't believe they got rave reviews and that they were like given the first rose. And
I just want to say I predicted this on last week's podcast. I said they're going to have a bounce back week, and I'm pretty sure I said Ryan and Natasha are going to go home. I believe.
Did you really?
I think so. I don't know. I'm not as confident. You have to go back to the tape on who was going home, but I definitely said. It's just kind of predictable from a story standpoint,
I was surprised. I mean, Ryan and Natasha, God bless them. Like she puts on a show, and I actually feel like he got the worst end of the deal because he was so good when they went to Capitol Records but then he was put with like Mariah Carey. You know what I mean? She's not, even though she tried to
she was
perform
put with
him.
someone who wants to be Mariah Carey-esque.
Yes.
But I get what you're saying. Like Natasha likes the spotlight,
and she's a diva.
Yeah.
And like he was trying, but like he also went from dating like a this young girl, to like this full woman, like a Pussycat doll, like this full adult woman, which I kind of loved. Harry Potter and the Pussycat doll, like I kind of loved it, but there was no way it was real. But they were like, okay, we're just gonna make, like, she just made up her mind. I need this record contract. I'm gonna stay. He's like, wow, look at this sexy lady, but they were so good last week. I thought that her talent was gonna get them through, but it didn't.
Yeah, I mean, Ryan
forgot the word.
From a performance standpoint, he never topped his first. He never topped the John Mayer performance with Jamie, and that makes sense. Like, yeah, he just he never fit with Natasha, both musically and romantically. It was always kind of an awkward pairing. But we're getting ahead of ourselves. We
Yeah,
have
sorry,
to address the. No, it's fine. We kick off the episode with highlighting Rudy and Matt. I always forget. I always want to call him Ryan. I don't know why.
They all look like Orion.
Right. Rudy and Matt love. I really got a kick out of this whole dynamic. I've really grown to like Matt. I think he's a good guy.
Me too.
A lot of the producers like just kind of like, it's always like, every season, like the producers, everyone's fine, but certain people, they're like, they're like, whether they're villains or heroes on the show, they're like, that's a good person. They're real. They're cool. They got a bad beat, whatever. They're cool. And sometimes it's just like, yeah, I know they looked good, but I hate them. Like there's always this. And so they really like Matt. He's a good dude. But he's clearly not feeling Rudy, and Rudy is the girl who just falls fast, as she said. She's very self-aware in that regard.
I love Rudy, and she does. She knows she's a handful. Like, I think she's fun. I think she's gonna have a few too many whiskey and sodas and fight with you, and then she's gonna be a blast, and she's so fun on stage, but she's definitely a handful, and he's older than her. He's like 31 or 32, and
How old is she?
How old is she? That's a great question.
I was gonna guess mid to late 20s.
Maybe. I mean, but so he's a little. My gut feeling. I don't know. I do. Love
I don't think their age has
couple.
anything to do with their dynamic. I think he's just not that into her. He never really was.
No.
She's a cool girl. She's talented. She's pretty. He's just he's not offended by her presence.
Yeah.
But he
loves singing with her.
Yeah, and they're great together musically.
She's 24. He's 32.
Okay, so yeah, she's almost mid. She's mid-20s ish.
It's a difference.
That's a difference, though.
Yeah.
24-year-old to 32
Yeah,
is a difference.
I agree.
I guess it just depends.
And she seems like a young 24, and he seems like kind of a man. But
I just don't think that's why they're not into each other.
No.
I think Matt could easily be into a 24. Of course. Matt has dated plenty of 24-year-old women. I'm going to go on record and say.
Oh, no. You're absolutely right. I mean, that's the whole conceit of the show that's very strange. It's like that you have to be in love to make great music.
Yeah, it's kind of bizarre that way, right?
Right.
It's
not true.
And it's almost like a pass, right? Because how in Paradise you go and it's all about love, right?
Yeah.
But there's always this undertone of who's here for the Instagram followers,
right.
Everyone, but we're all, you know what I'm saying? And so the earnest to try to stay is to be on TV, and there's certainly plenty of people who are trying to find their partner in Paradise to buy themselves a couple weeks. So that's no different, right? But here you have this built-in music thing, which is also a part of the show, readily talked. I mean, it's according to Chris Harrison, you can't fall in love or make music without they're as far as the shows, they want those two things to be mutually exclusive.
I mean,
right?
There's so few successful. Even the ones he mentioned when he was Carly Simon and James Taylor. By the way, I'm sure everyone was probably like, "Who?" You know what I mean? Just not. And by the end, they hated each other. You know what I mean? That didn't end successfully as a relationship, or it's you can be great on stage, and not be in love.
Don't you think of not dating people you work with? As an actor, you don't want to be dating another actor.
No.
It makes things worse.
No. Look, certain people can jangle your chemicals, and then you can go, and I'm going to step to the other side of the street because I know would be a disaster. It's a disaster.
So anyways, Rudy's really into Matt. I always, never a good sign when a guy's like, do I like her? I mean, sure. Could I see a future with her? I mean, it's possible. It reminded me of this one of the questions I got on my Ask Nick and my questions with Nick. And I actually was looking at it over the, some old ones for a project I'm working on. And it was is it possible? Sure. What's also possible is that I'm going to win the Powerball tonight, and I'm going to give you, it's possible I'm going to give you all that money. It's certainly possible. And that's how Matt's answering the question of, could I fall in love with Rudy? Is if it's just as likely that Matt wins the Powerball and gives it all to charity as he could fall in love with Rudy. But both still possible.
No, I agree with you. It's not going to happen, but I think he's smart. I think it's like if you're a 32-year-old musician in like Milford, Connecticut or wherever he's from, it's like, why not pick somebody that you can handle in the tour bus? All right, maybe make out a couple, like who cares?
Here's the thing. Matt didn't pick her. She picked him and he had no one else to pick.
She took a hostage.
Yeah.
But I have to say, I hope they win. I think I'm rooting for them. I think they're the most fun to watch on stage.
I would agree.
If I had to go see somebody in a bar or a venue, that's who I would pick. I don't care if they're in love or not. I hope they win because I think they're a blast on stage.
It's going to be Bree and Chris, which I like. But you're right. They're not as fun. Bree and Chris are like more... They're very talented. You're very gifted. They're very in love. And that's what there's no chance they don't win.
They made me tear up. They're very sweet. Yeah. Like I'm happy for both of them, but it's a very sweet, mellow kind of lullaby. I want more of a party if I'm going out.
Yeah, totally.
They're slow. Yeah. They're slow.
Could you imagine? Not that saying I'm falling in love with you means anything, but in that world, certainly she was putting herself out there. And could you imagine saying that to a guy and he just looks at you and goes, wow, like that took a lot of strength to speak your truth.
Oh my God. I felt for her. I felt for her and was proud of her that she was able to keep it together for the performance and not pull a Jamie from last week. That that shows you that she has the chops of hours on stage.
Yeah. Also, there's probably days in between that.
Oh my God. The sheer fact that she was, I can't even imagine if I said that to a guy and they said, you're brave for speaking your truth.
Oh my God.
I would want to dig a hole and like hide inside of it and put like grass covering over it and just like hide my face in shame and then come out at the end of the pandemic. Like, you just let me know when my hair has grown to my feet and then like I can come out and nobody will know it's me.
As someone who has a gift for being condescending when he's not even trying to be, like to say to someone speaking your truth is one of the more condescending things you can say to someone. And to say it when someone is trying to express their feelings for you is truly savage. And I don't think Matt was trying to be a dick at all. I think he just didn't know what to say. And I think Matt, like, and is kind of like, I'm not really comfortable with this Bachelor world. Kind of, he's just like, what does falling in love mean? Like what? And I think he just started having diarrhea of the mouth.
He's the one that didn't know who Chris Harrison was that first night. He was the one. I mean, what would you have said? I was actually watching him thinking, God, I don't know what I would say if a guy that I wasn't into.
Listen, he was in a tough spot because, like,
camera on you.
Gotta love the coincidence of everyone simultaneously falling in love at the same time on the show. It's just like, okay, but that's Bachelor world,
I also love that they didn't care about putting the pressure on Ryan and Natasha if they fell in love.
Isn't that great? I was playing that too. No one cared.
They just got to go bash cars, which was actually looked so fun. I was like, I want to go operate a forklift and throw minivans around some desert town.
I mean, my guess is like they just, Rudy is really into Matt, right? And so she's willing to talk about her feelings. Where like Ryan and Tasha, I don't think they're even trying to pretend they're really that into each other. So like, okay, I'll put my head on your shoulder when we're on the bus, but that's all you're really getting from us.
My friend Anna is convinced that she was a producer plant from the get-go to come in and stir shit and be like, wait a minute, Trevor from American Idol, and then being like, oh, Brandon said that he wouldn't have picked you, that she was there, and then she happened to have a set of pipes, which is fine.
There's no producer plans. It's not that hard to find someone who wants attention. You know what I'm saying?
Dude, you're right. It was, oh man, them going to see Shaggy. I was like, I don't want to go see brutal. Shaggy.
Oh, I gotta love
that was random.
It was random, and like, maybe it was kind of brilliant almost in a sense. You have Rudy and Matt. Rudy very insecure about her relationship with Matt. Go watch a performance to a guy singing about having sex with another girl.
Yeah.
And lying to his girlfriend's face saying, wasn't me.
Yeah.
Yeah. That you saw someone fucking someone. Wasn't me.
Did you know that Shaggy won a Grammy last year for an album he put out with Sting. Did you know that Sting and Shaggy put out a reggae album together and won a Grammy for it?
I did not know that, and I feel like I should apologize for politely shading Shaggy.
I was shading Shaggy too, and my friend was like, "No, Shaggy." I was like, "Wait, what year is this?" I mean, Shaggy's a blast. I'm not going to act like Shaggy's not a blast.
Oh, I'd
like,
had some fun to Shaggy growing up.
I thought he was like a one-hit wonder type.
So did I. I mean, and by the way, his album was really fun. Like that album is super fun.
It was
all of it. The whole album is so fun.
Yeah.
Even last night I was like, she caught me red-handed, sleeping with the girl next door.
Yeah.
But like, so then my friend was like, no, he put out an album last year with Sting, which to me, like, wait, what? And then it was popular and they won a Grammy. I actually was so confused that I went online and watched 2 videos that they made, one of which they play pretend cops, almost like like a Lethal Weapon kind of a thing, and they're walking around with like cop badges and they're in South Beach. It's so confusing. And then there's another one that they film in Jamaica and Sting. It just is like, how in the world did this combo come to be? And people loved it.
Great. Well, and that's a big get for the Bachelor, for Listen to Your Heart.
There you go.
But I gotta wonder what Rudy was just like, why the fuck are they singing this song? Is Matt, are you cheating on me?
Oh my God. There we go. Here we go. There they are. There they are dressed as cops.
Yeah. They both look like hot older men. I mean, good for them. I mean,
I was watching. I was like, oh, they know they look good. They know they've aged well. Like it works.
I went to the Golden Globes last year, and when it was over, I saw they're all leaving, and everyone's ordering Uber X's and their black cars, and I saw Sting trying to find his Uber like everyone else, and it just felt so like, you know what? He's just a guy.
He's just a guy.
Just another guy who can't find his Uber.
He's just a guy going, are you California XZ1?
Yeah, it made me feel good, here, he's a man of the people, Sting, just kind of walking around. I just was obsessively watching him for 10 minutes. Just be like, are you my car? Are you my car?
It was pretty weird when you see like a very human moment from an icon. It's so strange.
Like, why isn't Sting not just floating home? I don't understand.
It's Sting. He can just put on his wings and just fly back to England. And do his tantric sex for like 88 hours and call it a day.
So yeah, everyone's falling in love this episode.
Everybody's falling in love. So then we have Chris and Bree.
That wedding date.
The wedding date. Yeah. Let's talk about it. What do you want?
I mean, like that's what Do you think they got lucky to get another mixed race couple?
No, I thought it was very heavy-handed. It was heavy-handed.
I was like, oh God.
I felt like ABC was trying to be cool, but they were like so playing their cards of like, we're cool with biracial couples. Like, So look at this. Everybody, we're cool. See,
there's only biracial couples now.
Yeah, it felt like your aunt that like is like at it, like is trying to like act cat. It was
maybe they got lucky,
maybe.
No, there's no way.
I did tear up. I teared up. I loved the couple.
No,
I
it was
tear up when they
sweet
sang.
couple. Yes, it was very sweet.
It was weird when they were singing that the couple didn't dance. They just stood and stared at each other.
Yeah.
So
did you notice that? Did you notice?
Awkward.
They just stood. I was like, oh, you can like slow dance or something. Like, why are you just standing and staring? It's a long song. I felt panicky. It made me anxious.
But like clearly they're setting up the Chris and Bree love story. Like it's not a coincidence. That's the couple that went to the wedding because they're the only believable couple as far as romance, right? Like,
I'm going to say I think Trevor started to fall for her this episode. Maybe I'm I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not saying Trevor hates Jamie like Matt hates Rudy. No, I mean, Matt doesn't hate Rudy. He probably loves her as a person.
Tolerate.
He thinks she's very sweet. He would do anything for her. He's just like, he's getting riddled with anxiety because he knows she's falling for him, and he's just balancing out this I mean, I want to sing and I'm having fun with my friends and I care about her, and he's, it's so I think Trevor is a little bit more into Jamie than Matt is into Rudy, but no.
And maybe
as soon as this show's over,
it's
done.
It's definitely a little bit of Stockholm syndrome of like, well, okay, there's like There's nobody to pick from. We're locked into this, you know.
Rochelle, do you maybe follow some of them? Are any of these people's like social followings going up significantly at all?
They all have like 50,000. I looked them up.
Yeah, it's like I feel like they're excited, you know, people are like posting them singing and stuff, which is ultimately what all they care about. But
yeah. No, I'm
it's
just wondering,
definitely
like,
not Bachelor.
I'm just saying, like, if they get like a groundswell of followers, you know, based off the relationship, I could see like Trevor staying in a few extra months of like people are following their love affair, right? Because if enough of people were watching the show and the show was like being talked about, and then, you know, people were like in on the Trevor and Jamie train, they would get a bunch of followers because people in Bachelor Nation love following relationships. Like that's, and you know, so that makes people, you know, like no one's staying in. I don't know. No one's staying in a relationship in Bachelor Nation if you hate someone, but it buys you a couple extra months. I'll say that much.
I loved watching Ari dancing. I loved watching Ari.
Can we talk
grooving.
about Ari and Lauren?
Yes.
Is Ari running for office of some sort?
It felt, yes. Oh my God, that's exactly what it felt like. Yes. Yes.
Lauren's dressed like a politician's wife. Ari is like in a blue suit and a red tie. It's just like, this is a music show. Where's your leather jacket?
When Lauren, who's very sweet, but when Lauren said, "Oh, Trevor has the most," is that him?
Yeah, 229,000.
What did he start
everybody else
with?
has like 70,000.
I don't know what he started with.
How many does Jamie have? Okay,
See.
and I wonder how many Chris and Bree have. When Lauren said to
Wait. When did he post that picture?
46,000.
Wait.
has
Go back.
less than-
Go back to Trevor's page.
5 minutes ago.
Oh, 5 minutes ago. Okay. I was just like, because it was like, is he buying followers? But no, if it's 5 minutes ago, then that's doing it. Because like he wouldn't, for being on the show, he's going to have really good engagement, but that's on right now. But no, okay. So yeah, he had some before. The fact that she has so much more than him doesn't track.
that he has so much more than her.
Yeah. Because women tend to get more than men.
It's weird. He has like,
I think he must have had a lot
200,000
before.
He definitely had.
From what?
He definitely had. Oh, you know, I bet he started with like 50.
Huh.
But still, like he's definitely.
He has way more than everybody else. Way more than everybody else.
He's the only guy, and I don't know how else to say that, so I'll just say it. He's the only guy who looks like he could be on The Bachelor.
Yeah, true story.
Right?
I mean,
maybe Matt could make it on, but
they
like,
could restyle Ryan. They could shine Ryan up, maybe.
Yeah, but he doesn't have that. And I'm not saying this is like, not saying you should want this. Like, this is not some sort of.
No. Trevor is on brand for that.
Yes, and so like, and then Ryan's a really handsome guy, but he's got kind of that nerdy thing going, and But in terms of, you know, what Bachelor fans are used to liking and following, Trevor's got that.
Just going back to Lauren and Ari for a second, when Lauren, who seems like a very sweet gal, but is not exactly like a firecracker, when she said to Jamie and Trevor, it seems like that you guys joke around. That's so important. We laugh, we tease each other all the time. And I thought, I've never seen you speak. Like,
I had the same thought. What? I had the same thought. Like, I know Lauren talked on her season, but I thought to myself, I honestly didn't know that's what your voice sounded like.
No, she talked more than it, because it seems so far we had last week Brian didn't seem to be allowed to talk at all. You had Rachel and Brian. Brian said nothing, and then the week before was JoJo. JoJo talked more than Jordan, but yeah, this one, Ari was just there sort of bouncing, and Lauren kept talking. And
look at Ari. Just like, it looks like I like the wrist tattoo, but other than that, he looks like he's running for office.
You're absolutely right. And he's
a little fuller in the face. He's got that kind of,
he's a dad.
He's got that dad face. He definitely looks like a dad. I mean, they're a very beautiful couple.
Oh yeah, she looks good. They look good.
Oh yeah, they look great.
Natasha,
it just seems like they just didn't dress up for the show.
No, they dressed for a different show. Natasha looked like an ice dancer, by the way. She looked like a very stunning ice skater that was like ready to perform.
What
Rochelle.
happened? What happened in their song?
She said that she skipped to to like a later verse or a bridge or something. Like she messed up. It was so complicated with the mic and the guitar and the mic stand and the holding of the mic. I felt for them.
I'm no musician, but like the playing a guitar while grabbing a mic, it just seems so unnecessary.
I couldn't believe he could still do it. I was like, he's talented.
Ryan's clearly a very talented musician.
Yeah. 'Cause I don't think that was the plan. I don't think the plan was to play the guitar and hold a cordless mic.
He's just like, fuck it. Yeah, I'll do it.
But he could still do it. I was like, look at him. Look at baby boy. He's got the goods. I worked with Evan Ross once, and I did a movie with him. Delight. He was such a delight.
Remind me which one's Evan Ross?
Evan Ross is married to Ashley Simpson.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And he was so fun and just kind of cool. And he was saying that he was like, yeah, I just dressed like El DeBarge.
Well, interestingly enough, he's literally wearing pajamas and a sports coat over it. And that seems to be more appropriately dressed than Arden.
Yeah, and that's who he is every day. Like, that's how he dresses. He dresses in like genie pants and pajamas. And it was like, I had a really good time with him. Like, I was like, I don't know what's happening, but I'm all, yes, Evan Ross. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I thought Ashley looked really pretty.
Oh, yeah. She's babe. Yeah.
Ashley was a babe.
Loving the pink hair.
And then there was that guy from Train.
Which, I got to say, what's going on with his hair? It just was kind of...
Was it plugs? I couldn't figure it out.
No, I don't... Plugs or not, I don't think you don't have to style your hair that way. I don't...
We've been rewatching on my Bachelor podcast. We've been rewatching Juan Pablo season because boy, that's tough hair. I'd never seen it. We were trying to get to know Claire Crawley, and it was 2014, so there was a lot of the crunchy faux hawk going on for Juan Pablo. It was like, it's interesting watching just 6 years ago. It feels like 14 years ago watching it. Can we also discuss the ads they keep running for Claire? And it looks like a 1983 brothel.
I do not get that. Like, that was like... You got the power of ABC and Warner Brothers behind the marketing campaign. And it's just like, let's put our first 39-year-old bachelorette in a dress and a background and a photograph that looks like it was taken from 1973.
1973, it feels like like it could be like a Chris Christopherson or maybe like a Dynasty. And then they add
it makes no fucking sense. I don't get it.
It's like a brothel, like she's the baddest madam in the West. Like there's something.
I don't get it. Why would they do that to Claire? It just seems so mean.
I know, and I feel like they're like begging for people to come. It's like, okay,
but they're not. I mean, I said this to Nikki Glazer. I get why it comes across that way, but they're just simply potential. They're taking advantage of the times, right?
Yeah.
They casted Claire last second. They had a bunch of guys that were clearly too young for her, and they had only maybe 3 weeks to like try to find some older guys. And had Corona not happened, that's what they would have went with, and they would have made it work. But now, since like God only knows when they're going to start filming, and they have some time, and I do believe Chris when he's just like, some of the guys we casted just might not be able to come back. Who knows? They could have gotten it. They might not be even eligible. You just never know. Right. And I think they're also just going to try to age up a little bit, right? So I get why they're constantly just putting out flyers. I don't think that, but they have
the wrong flyer. They're not like
if the flyer itself is not great.
Well, because it's also like, what are you going to if you're going fishing and that's your bait? What are you going to lure in if that's what you're putting out there? Particularly if somebody's not familiar with her. You know what I mean? Yeah. If you're not familiar with her,
they know they're casting a girl who was alive in the 80s?
Dude, it really feels like it feels.
And by alive, I mean like an adult in the 80s. I mean,
it feels unkind. It definitely feels like they're putting their work like it's not jamming.
They're making Claire look like she like grew up in the 80s and won't let go of the fashion.
No, she's like, this is how, there it is.
And Claire is a very fashionable woman. Like she's
a beauty.
So I don't get this. I do not get this whatsoever. It makes no fucking
sense. The background, the font, the color of the dress, like her face and hair, all that's fine. Like the actual person of Claire, fine. Everything else is not doing her It literally looks like
they
a
put it in a
time machine.
turtleneck. It's like something like, one of the Golden Girls would wear to
It's
a
very
a
Golden Girls. It's like Blanche Dubois.
Yeah. And
like
that's fine if you're 70.
Yeah, that's a tough, they're not being kind to her. Nikki Glaser has been reaching out. She also is obsessed with the show.
Yeah, Claire's a total babe. Like, there's a reason why she's the Bachelorette. Like, she looks great. So, like, I don't get why they're like looking like, I don't understand why they're doing that.
Oh my God, poor Claire. I would be mad if I were her.
I wonder, aren't they going to do Ari's season when they do like the look back episodes, Nick?
Doubt it.
Oh,
I don't
really?
know. I don't know what they're. I don't know. I know a couple of them, but I don't know about
How
Ari's.
many episodes
Why?
are they
Why?
doing?
Why? I doubt they would do Ari's.
Oh, I could just because we didn't see Lauren at all, basically on that season, and knowing what they know now, I wonder if they would like show us more. But
I mean, Ari's season was particularly boring, except for the end.
Yeah.
And my guess is, out of respect for Ari and Lauren, they probably wouldn't want to relive. The only exciting thing about that season was something that Ari and Lauren got a lot of heat for. So if you're Ari, you're just like, please don't show that. Because I do think they're not trying to, when they're re-showing these shows and doing these recaps, I don't think they're really trying to make anyone's life miserable.
I didn't watch Jason Mesnick's season, but did he get heat for his switcheroo?
I didn't watch it either.
so
but
much,
a lot,
so
yeah.
much.
But they bring him back a lot as like
They do,
an
and
example.
they'll continue to bring back Lauren and Ari like they're doing now, right? They bring them back as a success because they are a success. I'm simply saying for this like recap thing that they're doing, it would surprise me for a couple reasons. Like, I think A, Ari season's too recent, and B, the only exciting thing about that season was the end. And like, for example, if they play Caitlyn's season, right?
Yeah.
I wouldn't surprise me if they play Clayton's season, but at the same time, she's not with Sean anymore. So I don't think they're going to spend a huge deal like highlighting. They're not going to ignore it, right? But they'll make sure. So yeah, I don't see Ari, like, why would Ari and Lauren want that?
That's how I started. I started with Caitlyn's season. You were a blank slate to me, Nick. All I knew was when you showed up, she was on fire like a Cracker Jack. She was just like, oh my God, it's Nick. I've never seen a chemical reaction like that to another human being. Greatest season ever. Cupcake being left by the cliffs in Ireland, all of it.
I kind of mentioned this, but I found some, I guess, love letters I sent her that I never read. So like when she
read them now.
Read them. We're in quarantine. You're not going to see anybody for the next 7 years.
I read them like a month ago for the first time because like I ran into Caitlin and we were just like shooting the shit, right? We were talking about the podcast and we're just like, she's like, oh, I never got those emails. And I'm like, I forgot, like obviously when I got off the show, but I had told her about them in the fantasy suite. Like, oh, when we get back, like this, anyways. And it was from the time where they took her phone away to the time I got the call to come on. And like, when you read them, they're really heavy and they're kind of sweet, like, and again, I read them and it's just like, we're friends now. We're both happy. But it was they're very sweet and they're very like, it really explains a lot about like, my thought. It's kind of quite fat. When I read them, I'm like, wow, like it kind of narrates my thought process from the time, like my decision to come on and me talking to her, and like it was kind of wild.
I want to say you have good taste. I thought she was the best Bachelorette. I thought she was, I'd never seen her before. Cute as a button, so fun. I just thought she was a blast, like best Bachelorette. I thought you have very good taste. She was adorable.
We should read the letters on your Patreon.
Oh my God, you should read the letters on the Patreon. Wait, get ready to make a lot of money.
Yeah.
They're
if you ever hard up for cash, save them for when you need a payment for something.
They're something. They're very sweet, but like,
is she really short? She's little, right?
Caitlin's, yeah, she's little. Yeah, I don't know her height. I mean, my guess is she's probably 5'4".
So cute. She's so cute. I loved her.
Yeah.
And I think she and Jason are cute.
Yeah, Jason's like the greatest.
Oh my God, Buffalo.
Yeah.
Buffalo, like the just like a nice guy. There's a hockey date I could handle. I could watch them skate. That's fine.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, the hockey date, it was such a throwaway. It's like, hey, can we like use your ice for like 20 minutes? We got to watch some people skate.
We gotta. Oh my God, Jamie's so young that I fear her heart is gonna get broken. All right. So what's your prediction? Who do you think is gonna win? You think Bree and Chris?
Yeah, for sure. It's not even like, it's so obvious. Like even in the rose ceremony, like they didn't even like try to pretend that Ryan and Natasha weren't going home because like it was between Chris and Bree and Jamie and Ryan. Yeah. It's just like, okay. So anticlimactic. Oh yeah, it's definitely going to be Chris and Bree. And then I don't know if runner up matters, but like, listen, it's going to be Chris and Bree because now you have your final three. They're going in the final.
Although ABC really likes Jamie. I mean, I'd rather have it be Rudy and Matt as top dog. I mean, they're going to put on the best show. Like their talent will keep getting them through if it does. But someone wants Jamie to win and has wanted her to win from the beginning because they keep giving her dates and like.
Well, she is a compelling character, right? She's emote. She's expressive. On her interviews, she's. I love it when she's like, who was it to? Was it Rudy? She's giving Rudy dating advice. She's like, I don't know, like just who knows? Just tell him you love him. Like he could love you. I love Trevor. Like anything's possible. It's just like
so young. It's like a sophomore in high school.
I feel like they thought we would all like fall in love with Jamie, but I feel like we are all watching falling in love with Rudy because she's so
real.
Yeah.
She's also just like. Yes. I mean, and she's an older, like, Rudy seems more mature.
Yeah.
Rudy seems like she's lived more life.
Yeah.
Than Jamie. So regardless of her age, you can tell that Jamie has more life experience. And yeah, she seems, and then I think Jamie and Rudy are the same amount of real. I don't think Jamie's faking it at all. I think she is madly in love with Trevor. I think she's genuinely nervous when she sings. I think you're just seeing Jamie is very authentic. She just seems very like inexperienced.
She's so young.
Yeah.
Watching her this week backstage, once she got the "I love you," I am like confident. I'm in charge. I'm gonna go. It's like, oh, I have such, having being a stand-up, like I understand like the terror back, that's particularly early on before you go on and do shows. Like I understand her nerves before she's gone out there, but it's just watching somebody who doesn't have the tools to like manage them is so hard to watch.
Yeah, I mean, even when those two perform, I'm more or less bored.
Yeah,
Jamie and Trevor.
They're boring. Yeah. Oh God, I really want Rudy and Matt. If he could just fake a little interest, just give me a little interest.
I have rewatched Rudy and Matt's performances every week.
They're so good. Oh my God, the one last night was.
And I forward through like Trevor and Jamie's.
I've watched everything because I'm a fool, and I watch and I squint and I cover my face watching. Rudy and Matt, it gets better and better. Last night was so good.
And what a hard song. What an impossible song to cover.
Yeah. Yeah. And she has the goods. Like, and she's got kind of like her, even in her styling, there's sort of like an old school, like contemporary of Stevie Nicks vibe.
No, Rudy knows her brand. She's very like, she knows what works for her. She knows her brand, so to speak. And Jamie's still figuring even that out.
I'm all in on it. I mean, I think it's fun. I've very much enjoyed, now that I'm in, like, I'm very much enjoyed it. And now that I've gotten to know them, we're not starting from zero. Now that I'm invested, I know what their talent is.
What's interesting is that outside of the pressure of the show and the show constantly saying, you have to be in love if you want to sing.
Yes.
I can picture Rudy and Matt being like, great work partners. Like I could picture them being like, we got a thing here. Like we're good together. Like let's take the romance out of it and let's go make some music. I can see that happening.
I know I feel for him that it's sort of like, for now it's like, why do I have to date the lead singer? You know what I mean? Like, can't I just have a kick-ass lead singer and not date the lead singer? But it's like, for now you have to date the lead singer.
And I'm sorry I get the show, but I just don't buy any of the judges or any of these like the experts who like stop like, excuse me, I'm sorry, you guys don't seem like you want to fuck each other's faces right now. Is there something wrong? Like in what world does that happen? Like, but like
There was a guy all the ones that are like on the dates when they go to the Roxy or whatever. The professional advisors, it does look like a PA that they put gel in their hair and set to be like the professional, like, why don't you want to fuck their face? I don't get it.
Yeah, can you just make sure you question their love?
This is like he already has a band though. This is
okay. Well,
band.
they should Brother Stone. It should be Brother Stone, like Rudy and the Brother Stone, is what it should be.
Well, they're good. I would go listen to them.
Me too. He's great. He's great. I find him very likable. I'm a fan of him.
I do too. I wasn't sure at first, but I like him. So yeah.
Well,
well, I think we've kind of covered it all.
I feel like we've been on a great love journey today, you guys.
Yeah, we have. So, I mean, I didn't ask you. Do you agree with my predictions, or we know what you want?
I'm going to say. All right, just for that, to keep it interesting, I think ABC is going to force Jamie, because they picked her early on and she's someone's niece, is my prediction, is that they're going to, I think they think she's marketable, and I think they're going to give it misguidedly to Jamie and Trevor.
I think you are selling Chris and Bree short. They're very marketable. They're very in love.
I think they're marketable.
You
I
can
think
sell their love.
I tear up. They've made me tear up every performance. I teared up at the wedding ceremony. I teared up last week when they sang. I loved their Taylor Swift. I love his voice. I'm happy for them.
They're just that's why they got this date. Like, again, they're not great TV in the sense that they're not going to bring drama, but they are really in love and they're sweet, and then they'll probably get a ton of attention in the finale. All right. And they'll win. And I mean, I don't know if anyone's
that would
really
be a boring tour. Like, who would want to go? Now, granted, we're all locked in our house.
We're locked in. I think that might be irrelevant at this point.
Yeah.
And again, the show maybe not, regardless of Corona, the show might not be doing as well as it should be doing to support a successful tour.
True story.
But
True story.
regardless, they seem to be.
Well, they'll definitely open. They'll open the Bachelor tour that's already happening.
Yeah, but is that a win? I mean, I don't know if that's your dream music launching pad. Opening for, a off-Broadway Bachelor. I could be wrong.
What do they do on the Bachelor tour?
They have like a local bachelor meet a bunch of local girls, and they kind of recreate the Bachelor experience on stage, is my understanding.
Fine.
And Rochelle went, right?
How was it?
No, I didn't go.
Oh,
I didn't
They
go.
did it at the Ace, didn't they, in LA?
That's my understanding.
And they do some dances, like I saw Becca doing that Grease dance. You're the one that I want, I think.
Oh my God.
Listen, I think it's probably super fun and super cheese. And if you're a diehard Bachelor fan, you fucking love it.
Great. I mean, look, I'm not going to act like I wouldn't have fun if I went. I would.
Yeah. It's not my thing,
I'm
but
a garbage person.
I get why it's they're doing well. I'm just saying, if you're just like really just had this music goals and careers, I don't know if you go down stage there and think we made it.
Yeah, we made it. Guys, we did it.
We did it.
We totally nailed it.
We totally did it. Arden, thanks so much for coming on.
Oh my God, thank you so much for having me on. I love being
Bachelor.
on. Yes, and you're going to come on my finale.
Yeah. Tell people where they can find you.
Okay, I have three things you can find me. I'm on Instagram at Arden Myrin. Looks like Myrin, ARDENMYRIN. I host a Bachelor podcast on iHeartRadio called Will You Accept This Rose? And Nick and Michelle Collins will be breaking down our finale episode with us next week. Yeah. And I have an upcoming book called Little Miss Little Compton that you can pre-order wherever you order books. And
tell us a little bit about your book.
We have a nice foreword by Debbie Ryan, some nice quotes from Chelsea Handler and Amy Schumer, Molly Shannon. It's a book my my grandparents married after knowing each other for one day. They married day 2. And then my parents were coworkers and they married on a dare. They never dated and they stayed married for 50 years. And it starts with that. So I'm the product of 2 hasty decisions, and that's where it all started.
That's incredible.
Isn't that crazy?
That's insane.
It's fucking crazy. It's so crazy. Yeah. And I didn't know that growing up. And then when my brother got his first girlfriend and she was asking my mom like how my parents met, and my mom was like, oh, it was stupid. I was like, well, I knew they met at work, but it was like they were trying to get vacation time. So everybody got 2 weeks. And then if you went on honeymoon, you got an extra 2 weeks. And so there was like a dare. I was like, okay, let's get married. And then we'll go on like, my dad was like, I'll take you to like South America for 4 weeks and then we'll come back and we'll get it annulled. And then they made a bet. They like swore they couldn't find like a Bible to swear on that they were going to do it. So they swore on a cookbook in like New York City or like around New Year's Eve. And then my mom called him the next day and like upped the ante. And she was like, I'll do it, but I'm not getting it annulled. And then she borrowed her best friend named Arden, her wedding dress. They had a proper wedding 6 weeks later. My grandparents never knew and they stayed married till the end.
Jesus, buy this book, people. This is crazy.
Isn't that crazy? Yeah, it's actually a really fun book. It's really fun. It's batshit. Yeah, thank you. And it talks all about, coming from a town of 2,000 people and how I got on TV by 20, literally knowing no one. So stuff like that. Thanks.
That is incredible. Wow.
Are you blown away? I feel speechless.
I am. That's wild.
Yeah.
Well, check this out, people. And
Thank
Arden,
you.
I really thanks for coming.
Oh,
make sure to check us out tomorrow for a wonderful guest, Raja Kumari, who is an incredibly talented musician, writer, singer. She's blowing up these days, and we just have an absolutely great conversation about her life, her music career, what it's like to kind of grow up in LA and then live in India and kind of come from this kind of multicultural background. Very fascinating discussion we have with her, and I think you guys will really love it. So check that out. As always, thanks for listening. Don't forget to send your questions at AskNick@castmedia.com, cast with a K for our Ask Nick episodes. And as always, thanks for listening. Have a great day.